are the lazy, opinionated punks, but it's just Lil Punk, me, myself. And I want to talk about a news article that was brought up by somebody on my Facebook about a transgender girl in Hillsboro, Missouri. And students had protested over the right for her to use the girls' locker room. And, you know, I saw the news articles on it, and, you know, she was saying that she used to change in, like, the janitor's bathrooms or closets or something, and, you know, she's been transgender for quite a while now, and she said she didn't want to be segregated anymore, and she wanted to blend in and be a girl because she is a girl. And obviously, the parents of the school don't agree. Also, I read some really nasty quotes, you know, from some parents, and I mean, it's really ridiculous. You know, some of the parents' concerns were like, well, we don't want our kids exposed to that. They're going to be traumatized, and we don't want our children to basically be changing with a male, which she is not a male. She is a she. And it's not like she's in the locker room to go, you know, expose her genitalia to everybody. Like, she wants to go to PE and then just change and do her thing and go back to class, like, and fucking just do her business and go. I really doubt that your children are going to be traumatized from it, and she very well could be in the locker room and go change in a stall. I think that it is still something that is very controversial, of course. I think that children, especially in high school, like, I think they should be exposed to it. I'm sorry, I don't feel like, I feel that it's really stupid for all of these parents to be so horrified and so scared for their children. Like, this is the world we live in now. This is what is currently evolving in the world around you. And I think that they should be exposed to it. They should be exposed to it. They should ask questions. They should learn about it. And they should have an open mind. I had a debate on Facebook with a person who is the one that posted this news article, and she was, you know, saying, I completely agree with the protest, and I think it's disgusting, and she needs to use the boys' locker room. She was saying he needs to use the boys' locker room. Basically saying, if you still have a dick and balls, then you're a dude. Like, you're not a fucking girl. You can't just wear a wig and put on makeup and say that you're a girl. So, of course, you know, I had to chime in, and I explained, like, that's not how it works. Having surgery in the genitalia area to change which sex you are is pretty extreme, you know? It's not something that everybody does. It's not something that everybody's able to do. So the fact that you're saying since they haven't had, you know, gender reassignment surgery yet, then she's not really a girl until she has gotten a vagina and gotten real boobs. And I just think that that's offensive, and it's total bullshit. You can't just say since somebody hasn't had surgery, they're not a girl. No, that's not how it works, you know? And I don't like closed-minded people who throw their opinions around and aren't educated on the issue. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not a fucking biologist, I'm not a scientist. I could definitely be more educated in the specifics as well. But I mean, it's been scientifically proven how gender identity works. You know, there's male hormones that go to the genitalia area first. I think, I don't know, they said within 6 to 12 weeks of pregnancy. But the hormones to the brain don't develop until the second half of your pregnancy. So the male hormones can go to the genitalia, and you would genetically be born with male parts, but your brain developed later, and those hormones never made it to your brain, so you have a female brain. I mean, this is how it works. It's not just, hey, some dude wants to put on a wig and some makeup and call himself a girl, and that's not fair, and we don't want to be around him because he's a disgusting monster. It's just really sad. You know, and even talking to my friend on Facebook about the issue, and, you know, a couple other friends chimed in, and I was really surprised that they were all on the same page of basically saying, yeah, he still has a dick and balls, he's still a dude, and he shouldn't be anywhere near those girls. And then they start, you know, even one of the parents in the news article had said this, and, you know, people on Facebook had mentioned it too, like, well, I wouldn't want a male around my daughters, for one, because they wouldn't want their daughters to be exposed to his genitalia. But secondly, they were worried, like, well, what if he is we don't want him looking at our daughters while they're changing. Well, now you're talking about a completely different subject. Now you're just talking about sexuality. And you can't go there. That's bullshit. Because this is high school. I mean, even in junior high, there are kids that are realizing they're gay. So you can't say you don't want a transgender woman in the female locker room with your daughters because you think that he's going to be looking at them sexually. You can't do that. Because how many girls are in the girls' locker room that are gay and that are lesbians and are looking at your daughters sexually? And vice versa. How many men are in the locker room and are gay and are obviously looking at the fucking men? Or, you know, boys if we're talking about high school or junior high, whatever. But this mother, you know, really took it to the extreme. She was like, I don't want this around my child. I'm going to have to end up sending my daughter to an all-girls private school. I'm like, oh, you're going to do that? Okay. Well, that's kind of dramatic, but anyways. So go ahead and do that, and then you're going to have to think about the next step, because what's going to happen when she goes to an all-girls school, and as transgenders are more accepted, becoming more accepted very slowly, what are you going to do when there's a transgender girl at that school? What are you going to do? Then you're just going to homeschool her? You're going to keep her locked up in the house forever and away from the world? So she's naive and knows nothing about anything about the world around her. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Why would you want that for your child? Like, you're being ridiculous. And, you know, eventually it was just, you know, agree to disagree, because pretty much everything I was saying was going through one ear and out the other, and I couldn't have an adult discussion because she was getting really upset. We actually went to junior high together, and she was like, you remember being in junior high and being in the locker room, and when we first had to, like, change after PE, you know, it was really uncomfortable for all of us, and it was, she's tried to say, like, it was traumatizing. And I said, no, I don't really remember it being like that. Like, when I first had PE and started changing in locker rooms, you know, about 6th grade, I I don't remember being totally horrified by seeing the other girls change or me changing in front of the other girls. I know people have different experiences, and obviously her experience was different than mine, but I just don't see the issue. Again, you know, there's still a lot of things. There's still a lot of things that are being tested and researched about transgenders, and we do have a long way to go. Like I said, I know it's a controversial issue, but I just don't appreciate. I don't appreciate people treating transgenders like monsters. Like, get fucking educated, you know, and open your mind, and don't be such a fucking bigot. Why waste your time judging other people all the time and letting it affect your life? Why are you letting it affect you so much? And your children. You shouldn't be such a helicopter parent to where you need to watch their every move and what schools they go to and who they're with, and oh my god, is there somebody at your school that's gay? Because if it's a girl, I'm really nervous, and I really think that she should have a separate changing room. I mean, you're talking about gender identity, and you're also talking about sexuality. So if you want to combine those, what are you going to do? You're going to have a girls' locker room, a boys' locker room, a trans woman locker room, a trans male locker room, and then a gay locker room, and then a lesbian locker room. I mean, give me a fucking break. And not to mention the trans women and the trans men. Again, sexuality is completely separate. You can have a trans man that is attracted to a trans man. You can have a trans woman that's attracted to a trans woman. Or they're attracted to men. So, if you're gonna separate them, it's still not going to work. It's not gonna be hunky-dory and separated, and your child is gonna be in this tiny little bubble where they don't have to be exposed to anything in life. It's not gonna be like that. So, that's it. That's pretty much all I had to say. That is my rant on that. Again, I think everybody needs to be more educated in this, including myself. But I really don't fucking appreciate people that aren't educated and are, you know, and are disrespectful and very opinionated about people that they don't know anything about. So, before you open your mouth, do some fucking research. That's all I have to say. This is the Lazy Opinionated Punks, and I'm Lil Punk, and like, share, please subscribe, and peace out.